What's up, everybody? Professor Nate here with another white belt survival guide. So when you start jiu-jitsu or you start at a new jiu-jitsu school, there's a lot of etiquette that's kind of universal amongst the jiu-jitsu world that you should know going in. It's fine if you don't, but the sooner you learn it, the better. There's a couple things that you're expected to do, okay? First thing is always bow when you're coming on or off the mat, usually to the center of the mat. Or if there's a photo of the instructor or the grandmaster or the founder on the wall, you're bowing to that. It's a sign of respect for the martial art, for the coach or the professor, and for the lineage, okay? When you're going to start rolling with someone, any sort of live roll or spar or takedown situation, there's the general cultural beginning point where you slap hands to start, okay? That's just kind of assume that you'll know to do that. And that's usually anytime there's a reset, okay? So if there's a submission and you go back and you reset again with your partner, it's basically just a nonverbal way of telling your partner, hey, bud, you slap hands, you bump hands. I'm now ready to roll with you. I'm ready to go live or whatever we're doing, okay? It's a way of communicating that shift in the dynamic, okay? But don't be one of those guys that does a 30-minute handshake because you're trying to burn up time off the clock and you don't really want to roll, okay? Just a little slap hands, a little bump, and then just get into whatever you're getting into, okay? There's a couple other rules that vary from gym to gym, but you should be aware of them. Some gyms like it that for you to request to leave the mat if you have to leave the mat, okay? If you've got to use the bathroom or if you're getting a phone call or if there's something you got to do, it's polite to just tell the instructor, hey, I need to go to the bathroom or I need to go do this. It's always usually going to be fine, but because usually we're working in pairs, if that instructor now needs to go and jump in with the person you were drilling with because you're off the mat, he needs to know about it, okay? Same thing if you're planning to leave early. Most jiu-jitsu gyms, unless it's like a really dedicated competition team situation, if you got to leave early, it should be fine. But again, because of the numbers game and making sure everybody has a partner, let the instructor know, I'm gonna be leaving 10 minutes early. I have to go to a doctor's appointment or whatever. It's fine. Other things you should be aware of are grooming and hygiene, okay? We're in here with people rolling around on the mat, sweating on each other, grabbing each other. And because of that, you want to be courteous to your training partners, shower before you come to class, or at least don't come to class stinky, brush your teeth or use mouthwash in the morning if it's a morning class. Make sure you trim your nails, okay? Don't show up with Wolverine claws. I can't tell you how many times I've been scratched or cut. I think I have a cut right now. It's going to happen even with short nails, but you could cut down on the frequency of that situation a lot by keeping your toenails too and your fingernails nice and clean. Keep your gi clean, okay? This is inherently a sport where there are bacteria and germ concerns, okay? You're rolling around on the mat, you're sweaty. These things get really smelly if you don't wash them after every single class, and they're a breeding ground for bacteria and disease. So be courteous to yourself and your training partners. Keep your gi clean, keep yourself clean, shower after every class. That's going to cut down on incidents of skin infections, ringworm, staph, etc. The other thing that's super, super important as far as etiquette goes in jiu-jitsu is respecting the tap, okay? Tapping out is the number one thing in jiu-jitsu that lets us train as hard as we train and as much as we train. Jiu-jitsu is one of the few sports where you could spar hard every day, theoretically, and not get so beat up that you need to take weeks off to recover. And that's because of the tapping out system, okay? So you need to respect the tap at all times. If you think someone taps, let them out. If they actually are tapping, definitely let them out. Never let your ego or your eagerness to get a move result in you not respecting someone's tap, because then they get injured, right? You're not going to have that training partner anymore. It destroys the trust that is integral to a jiu-jitsu training room if people start not respecting tap outs. People aren't going to want to train with you, and it's going to basically just bring down the quality of your entire program. So always respect the tap out. And for brand new white belts, the tap out lets your partner know you won, okay? Now in the beginning, that might be you tapping out just because you're exhausted and you can't breathe, called a fatigue submission. That happens. You can sometimes even see it happen at the very high levels, right? Where they're putting so much pressure on the guy, he just taps from exhaustion, okay? And that's fine. You just reset. You slap hands, you rebump, and you go again, okay? Right now, we're going through a game of gotcha, basically, okay? Later on, as you get good at submissions and your partner gets good at submissions and they slap on actual submissions and you could realize that you're caught, you don't need to be a hero. and try to muscle out of it and end up hurting yourself. Just tap and reset. Think about why you got submitted and try to run a better defense next time. It's like a game of chess, okay? When you're checkmated in chess, you just knock your king over and you reset, right? You don't throw the board across the room. You just knock your king over and you reset and you think about how they got you and you do it again a little better, hopefully, next time, okay? And that's kind of what we're doing here on the jiu-jitsu mat, but with our bodies, okay? Another thing to be concerned about as far as etiquette goes on the jiu-jitsu mats is your shoes, okay? Never, ever, ever come on the jiu-jitsu mat with your shoes on. You're tracking all the germs and fungus and bacteria that you just walk through to get to the mat onto the mat. This is a huge no-no, okay? Conversely, anytime you leave the mat, you need to put your shoes on for the duration of the time you're off the mat and then take them off when you get back to the mat. For the same reason, if you leave the mat to go to the bathroom, let's say, and you don't put your shoes on, you're going to track everything from the bathroom onto the mat, okay? So shoes, anytime you're off the mat, need to be on your feet. Anytime you're on the mat, they need to be off your feet, okay? When your coach is talking, okay, when your instructor is talking, when your professor is talking, stop talking. Pay attention to what they're saying, okay? You could pick up your conversation after they're done explaining whatever they're explaining, especially if they're explaining a move, okay? Your coach should have a voice that projects, say, everyone up here, eyes up here, circle up, that type of thing. Stop what you're doing, drilling, saying, whatever with your training partner, and circle up. Every class is a limited time period, right? Be respectful of your other training partner's time and your coach's time. And if he starts talking, you stop talking, pay attention to what he says, okay? And then there's other just general hygiene issues when you're on the mat. Try to avoid belching on the mat if you can. I mean, obviously we're rolling around and stuff happens. Farting on the mat, these types of things. Okay, we're all in close quarters with each other. If you feel one of these things coming on, just quietly say, excuse me, go to the edge of the mat or go to a corner somewhere, do what you got to do and then come back. It's just the polite thing to do both in jiu-jitsu and in civilized society, guys. Okay. So those are just the rules of etiquette for jiu-jitsu guys. Hopefully you found that helpful. Keep training. Thank you. What's up, guys? If you like that, please smash the like button, tap the subscribe button to support the channel, then let me know in the comments what you want to see next.